Hello, my name is Sheila and I would like to welcome you to my podcast All About You. I love to listen to podcasts and especially conversations with famous people. However, I think everyone has a story to tell. Maybe a place you have visited, a hobby you enjoy, or anything that you feel would be of interest. I want to have conversations with lots of different people and hear their stories. So if you have a story to tell, please contact me on my email allaboutyoupodcast@yahoo.com. So Cameron, welcome back. Welcome back.
The saga continues.
No, not a saga at all. It's been absolutely fascinating. So we're sitting here, we've got our nice hot tea again. And Cameron, right, let's go on to the final part of your story. And I'm interested to see where this is going to go.
It's like Star Wars, isn't it?
No,
like
it's
1,
fabulous.
2, 3.
No. I fell asleep in the cinema in the original Star Wars, so no, this is nothing like Star Wars.
Hopefully no one's fallen asleep for this. So we got to the February of that year. I'd done all that year before. I'd been actually saying it all back out loud. I realised how mental it was. When I was living it, it didn't probably seem quite as crazy. And I got an email to say, hey, would you like to come and join the cast of Mamma Mia?
Oh my God, Mamma Mia, Amber, Mamma Mia.
That Mamma Mia.
Oh my God, the Mamma Mia.
So they'd taken Chicago off the Allure and they'd replaced it with Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia, I'd always wanted to kind of do. It wasn't like a dream show, but it looked like a lot of fun.
So this is Mamma Mia on the cruise
same
ships?
ship. Yeah, on the same ship. 2 years later. So I think, yeah, do you know what? I've not got anything keeping me in London. I need some money. I needed to do a bit of self-discovery in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to do a bit of digging and that the year before had left quite a few little issues that needed to be looked at and fixed. And everyone says if you go on a ship, you're running away from something. And I genuinely, 80% that is the case. Most people who work on a ship are running from something, whether that's a bad relationship, a bad family, not working in London, whatever that is. A lot of people are running from something because when you're on a ship, you're locked away.
I mean, you are in this bubble, your food's provided, your accommodation, you don't have to worry about bills.
There's no consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
So that was the February I accepted. And then 2 days later, I get another email from All or Nothing. Hey, we're opening in London. We're opening at the Vault, which is another kind of fringe theatre near Waterloo. Mm-hmm. We're going for a 3-week run. We open middle of March, and my contract for Mamma Mia began at the beginning of April. So it all fitted in perfectly.
Stars aligning.
So I was like, boom, this is wonderful.
So random things at the same time.
I'm going to choreograph All or Nothing, and then I'm going to go and do Mamma Mia, and by the time I come back, hopefully, we'll be in a better place.
Yeah, financially.
So I do Mamma Mia, I do All or Nothing. I had to cast 3 brand new girls for the show. I was now suddenly the other side of a table, having to go, I really love her, but my best friend auditioned and I didn't give her the job. I couldn't give her the job.
Oh my
she just wasn't
God,
quite
that
right.
must be horrendous.
Yeah,
they probably think they've naturally got the job.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I had one friend who I was looking for something very specific. Girls who were no bigger than probably 4 foot something. They had to be quite tiny, very little, looked like they were from the 60s. So it cut out a lot of people. Yeah. And there was a few exceptions in the room because we were filling lots of different roles. I had a few friends in there who assumed they'd get the job because they knew me. I also put my best friend in the room, as I do with every audition. I always put someone in the room I know who knows they're just auditioning for the point of it. So when everyone goes outside, they listen and hear, are you really that nice? Because everyone's lovely in an audition. Yeah. They can't tell you how wonderful you are.
So you have like a little mole?
Yeah, always.
Oh, that's a bit scary.
And my other best friend held the audition for me, taught the choreography, because I wanted to be able to watch how people learn, because we had a really quick time to do it. So we opened at the Vaults. What went from, I think, a 3-week run turned into a 6-week, 8-week run, and it was going on to a UK tour. All from this The show went down really well. The girls were amazing. I've had, since then, I called them the Modettes. Since then, I've had 4 or 5 different sets of them. But that first set will always be very, very special. I choreographed some of my, this sounds very egotistically, but some of my best work I've ever created. I don't think I'll ever create something better than some of those routines. And then I had to have all the medicals again ready to go on the ship. So all this was happening, like, it was a bit of a high and low again. It was kind of that, wow, this is amazing, but I'm leaving all this behind, but I'm going to do a new adventure and I can't wait. And my medical came back, and they found a shadow or something on my lung. There was something there that they couldn't work out what it was. Well, you have to have a clean medical to be able to join the ship, or a letter from a doctor to say, this is actually this, it holds no threat.
Yeah, so we found this, but it's not a problem.
But they didn't know what this was. I don't know if you've ever had to try to have a CT scan privately.
No.
Well, you need.
Is that when you go in the big sausage machine and it makes a big noise?
Yeah, well, you need about $8,000 to be able to do it privately, which obviously I did not have. And so I emailed the office in Miami and said, hey, we've got a problem. They won't pass my medical, and I can't afford a private scan.
And you had to go privately because you had to get it done quick. Yeah,
so I'd gone to Harley Street to get the medical because there's only so many places that they approve.
Oh, right, okay.
So all of that had been done, and I thought, oh, God, what am I going to do? And then my dad's a paramedic.
Oh, okay.
So he stepped in and helped. We went to the hospital. I had chest pain, I think was the...
Okay.
And they did a CT scan and they found nothing. I had a little cyst or something, which, funny enough, I have a little bit missing, and they think my sister has the extra little bit.
Is your sister's
my
twin?
Oh. So all that was sorted out, but by this time I was a week late to rehearsals. Luckily, they were learning the show. Blue Planet was still on the ship, so luckily I already knew that. I knew the track, so I didn't miss a great deal. But I missed that week of everyone getting to know each other. I arrived in almost 2 weeks late, 10 days, 12 days late, on the last day of their Blue Planet rehearsals, and just came in, filmed what I used to do, could remember it perfectly, and there was a lot of...
Because they'd already made
their cliques and friendships.
Yeah.
They'd been together 10 days already.
And then you sort of swan in,
and I kind of swan in.
Know what you're doing.
And that started probably a quite difficult contract as of making friends and being understood. I was quite angry at the world by this point. From the year previously, I was looking back now. I was really angry at the world. Kind of was probably not a very nice person, really. So off we went. We did rehearsals, and actually, I've made some of my best friends I made on that contract, but some of my worst enemies I also made on that. People who just instantly took a dislike to me, and made my contract very difficult from the beginning. Because I'm not very good at just sitting and nodding when people are rude or stupid or are just lying. Just a bit, like, I'm not very good at just sitting there and going...
You're not very good at the poker face when inside your boardroom.
I have to call it out. I can't not. Which doesn't go down with... Some people find that really refreshing. Some people find that quite irritating. So we were on that contract 11 months.
So a long time living in this bubble.
Long time living in this bubble. But before we'd flown, so we did the rehearsals in Miami, and we were going around the Caribbean again. Same route. I think there was 2 extra ports I hadn't been to before. We did change at some point and did a few other places, but I'd kind of done most of them before. Same ship. A lot of the same people on board, as in the captain, the cast were all completely different. And then before we flew out, I met my partner, who now is my partner. Then I knew him as the boy in the turquoise jumper. He didn't have a name. So you do a show at the end of before you go onto the ship, you do a thing called an office run, where the office watch and basically say, yeah, you're good enough. No, you're fired. And they have been known to fire people in that office run. And I kind of poked my head out at the beginning, look who's watching. And I said to my friend Emily, oh, that guy in the turquoise jumper is quite cute. Little did I know, he was saying to his friend next to him, the guy in the bandana is quite cute.
Oh. Ah.
So we had a week of getting to know each other. We went on a few little dates, but we kind of knew that was, well, it was a week. I was leaving. He was going to Asia. So my partner is a singer. He was going to Asia on a ship. I was going to the Caribbean. It was kind of like a, yeah, great to meet you.
It was going to be a long distance.
Yeah, it was never going to be a long distance. It was never going to, over, 3 cups of coffee in Starbucks and a movie. It was never going to be, well, that's what I thought anyway. You sit here 4 years later. Yeah, that kind of grew. We didn't speak for probably a month or two. He was in Asia, and then we talked more and more, and we talked more and more and more and more, and his contract finished in Asia, and he flew to Miami, spent a week with me on the ship, and the rest is history. But yeah, that Mamma Mia contract was interesting. I loved Mamma Mia. I can't listen to ABBA music quite the same now, but it was a great show. It was a fantastic show. The audience is up on their feet and everyone is just so happy, and it's the easiest show to be a part of. Secretly, it really is. You come on and begin of Act 1, you move a table or something in the middle, then you do it at the end of Act 1, do the beginning of Act 2, move another table, and the finale. It's really easy body-wise, where Chicago was hard work, mentally and physically. So I had a lot of time on that ship to kind of think what I wanted to do next.
Contemplate your navel.
Yeah, was the company going to produce any more shows? What were we going to do? What was I going to do with this newfound romance? What was it? So Jesus came to visit. My partner's called Jesus, but I call him Jesus. As he introduced him to me on the first day. Hi, I'm Jesus. I was like, oh, okay. And I ended up producing another show in London. Weight Watchers the musical. It was called Fat Busters the musical because we couldn't call it Weight Watchers, but it was the same concept. So then it was a choice. Then I had the choice, what do I do now?
So the relationship is going well.
The relationship's going well. I mean, it started. I think that's the big difference between English and Spanish people. Spanish people meet someone and they know they're going to spend the rest of their life with them. English people, it's very much, well, this is it until it's not it, or
something else happens.
Yeah. So I thought, well, this is what it is for now. He's great. But he was Spanish. He lived in Valencia. And although he had lived in London before, he was kind of over that thing, and as was I. So what do we do now? So bits and bobs happened. We kind of spent 3 weeks here in Valencia, then we'd spend 3 weeks at home, and I would do odd bits of teaching, and he'd do odd bits of work and whatever. But it became a bit. You
needed to find something more permanent.
Yeah, it became.
Where are you going to live? What are you going to do as a day to day?
Hard work, and it was affecting us as we couldn't do it. We wouldn't do it for much longer. And then I got a phone call to say All or Nothing is opening in the West End. But 2 weeks before that, we'd signed a contract to do a ship together, which left January, and All or Nothing was opening in the West End in February. So it was a tough pill to swallow. It was kind of deciding if I didn't do that ship with Jesus, we weren't going to last. And at this point, I was in head over heels in love with him, and I did want to spend my life with him. Or I do All or Nothing. I might get a few credits and a few stars in a newspaper, but
that's not your personal life.
That's not my personal
career.
Life. And those, when I'm on my, Jesus often says to me, when you're on your deathbed, who's going to be there?
Yeah. This is what I call a head and a heart decision.
It was a head and a heart decision.
Yeah.
But the problem was, it was kind of almost 2 heart decisions, because that was my dream.
Yeah,
opening
your passion.
On the West End was my dream. It was all I'd ever wanted. But I soon realised that I could still do that. It would still have my name to it. And I could put a team in there that I knew was going to recreate it as it was. So the original girl came back as my associate choreographer. My best friend Emily, who is one of the most talented dancers I have ever seen, took on the lead dance role. So I knew I was safe. I knew my choreography was safe. I knew I was kind of okay. I kept on FaceTime every day. I'd finish my rehearsals in Miami, and then I'd go on FaceTime and check everything was okay. They'd send videos, and it all worked. The show opened in the West End at the Arts Theatre in the February. It ran for 2-3 weeks, and then was moved to the Ambassadors, which is a much bigger theatre. Dream come true. My best friend went for me on press night. Brian May had stopped her and said, I know you're the friend of the choreographer. That choreography was incredible.
So Brian May from Queen, if you're going to do a bit of name dropping.
A bit of name dropping. A choreographer friend of mine who I really admired went and said, I don't really watch much of the show, I was just watching your choreography, I find it really interesting.
But you weren't there.
I wasn't there, and
my God.
that will be forever not a regret is a strong word because it's
But
not
a
a
wish.
regret.
A wish you had been there.
A wish of
teleported for one night.
I wish things had just aligned slightly differently.
Yeah.
Because that contract that me and Jesus did was hard. I ripped both hip flexors. I was in a show that I didn't particularly love, with a cast that I didn't particularly love. It was a tough contract. I saw some incredible places, because that one went to the Mediterranean and we went home to Greece and it was stunning. But was it the dream contract? No way.
So if you had been given the opportunity at that time to be teleported to London,
you would have just in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And it's really difficult for anyone else to understand that. It was really difficult, I think, for Jesus to understand. But why don't you want to be here? It was a really difficult moment. So we did that contract, and then I said, right, I'll move to Valencia then. I can't live in the UK. We don't want to live in London, so let's move to Valencia.
And had you ever been to Spain before?
I'd been a couple of times to visit, but I'd never really been here other than as a tourist, if that, you know what I mean. So I said, I'll move. In the January 2019, I'll move. Because I had other things going on. I said, in January 2000, I'll move there and we'll just have to make it work, won't we? So my first 6 months here were really difficult. I struggled with the language. I struggled not feeling lonely. I struggled not having a purpose. Because I'd gone from Cameron the choreographer or Cameron the dancer or Cameron the producer to Cameron the boyfriend of Jesus. And that didn't sit very well. I had no purpose here.
I can relate to that because when we came here, my husband had a job. We arrived, he trotted off to work. I was in a country, very basic language. But as you say, you don't have a job. And I remember sort of going into the centre of the city, as a treat on a Friday, take myself out for lunch, have a wander around the city. They're going off and doing their thing, so for them, they've got a routine to their day. But when you haven't, and you don't know anybody, you've got no activities, and it's like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. And it was a bit... Jesus has some incredible friends that welcomed me with open arms, and luckily they all spoke English, and I became one of the gang quite quickly. But at the same time, it was really difficult. I didn't have my friends, I didn't have my support network here, and at that time I knew enough, but I still was a bit I still had that kind of foreigner fear of going in and asking for a coffee and people just laughing at you. And
I think to a certain extent that doesn't leave you.
No, I know, I don't think it does.
You are living in a foreign country, and it doesn't matter what level of language you've got or how long you've been here. I guarantee every day somebody will not understand you over something.
Yes. Mine's normally asking for a tea. I don't understand how two letters can have so many different ways of saying.
I have a problem with beer and tea, and I've had this conversation so many times. And Spanish, but no, you'll say this, and you say it to your ear. It sounds perfect. They go, no. It's just crazy. I think it's just one of those things.
Yeah. I've slowly started to give up. I've just started to ask for a cola.
We just drink coffee now.
I've just asked for a cola because it's just easy. So it got to the summer, and I said to Jesus, I have to do something. I'm going to try and teach classes.
So what type of classes were you thinking?
I'm going to teach an adult jazz class.
Oh, right, okay.
I'd been doing them in London before. They'd worked really well. I really enjoyed doing them. I didn't want to teach kids because I didn't want that commitment straight away. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And Jesus says to me, I'm going to support you whatever, and I will, but I don't want you to feel disappointed because he knows that I can very quickly, I put everything into something, and if it doesn't go the way I wanted, I feel like it's an attack on me personally. No. So he was like, I will support you 100%, but I'm not sure there's enough expats.
Because you were going to teach in English.
Here, so I was going to teach in English here to make that work. So I said, okay, well, I can try. If it doesn't work, I just chalk it up to experience and probably look at retraining and doing something online digitally or something like that. So out I go on these little expat Facebook. So Valencia is a very strange place, unlike anywhere else in the world, that their Facebook communities are still really strong, and especially the expat community. So I put on that little group, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, would anyone be interested? I'm going to do a trial class September 26th, here, see you there. Well, 22 people turned up. And I remember Jesus walking in going, okay.
So he expected to walk in and you'll be
And
there
they'd be like me and
twiddling
5
your
people.
fingers, yeah.
Because I'd done one on the Friday night and one on a Saturday morning. The Friday night had only been ended up being like 5 people. And the Saturday morning, people just kept appearing in the studio. And that was the birth of what is now Bailog on Cameron. Then Bailog on Cameron didn't have a name, it was just adult dance
Because bailar means to dance. Yeah.
So then it was just adult jazz classes. So we did those every Saturday. And people would come and I finally had a purpose. I finally I could deal with the rest of the week because on a Saturday I had a purpose. People needed me to be there. And then so we did those from September till about mid-November, and then I had panto in the UK, so I went home to do pantomime. And then I decided from the January, right, we're going to have a logo, we're going to have a name, I'm going to do this properly. So Bailog on Cameron was born, really. The logo came out, the Instagram, the Facebook. I added children's classes. So by this point, I was teaching on a Saturday, one children's class, Little Flamingos, as I call them, 3 to 6, my adult jazz, and then Funky Flamingos, which was 7 to 12. And I'd started a lyrical class in the week.
And what do you mean by lyrical?
Lyrical is when you mash together ballet and jazz, I suppose.
Okay.
A bit more floaty movement, a bit
so
more expressive.
It's a choreographed routine?
Yeah, it's a choreographed routine, but it was just a whole different style, which, again, no one was doing here. When I started, no one taught dance classes in English here.
Yeah,
and no one taught them how I taught them. So that was the January, and we were off. I was adding classes left, right and centre. All my classes were really full. I'd have like 23 people in a class sometimes. I was loving that, like I had a purpose, I was busy, and then COVID hit. So by the time March 14th came, I was doing really well. I was really excited about what was going to happen, what was coming, and then boom.
The world stopped.
The world stopped. But I kind of knew the world was about to stop. So my last class should have been on the 14th, which I think was a Saturday, which I cancelled because COVID had started to get a bit.
I think we were due to go into lockdown on the Monday, but they decided midnight
we're going
on the Saturday.
On the Saturday. So I kind of knew, well, this COVID thing's getting a bit out of control. Maybe I shouldn't be piling 23 people together in one room, sweating and dancing and stuff. So I'd cancelled that class and recorded a pre-recorded video for that class, so they could still do the class online.
So they could do it at home?
Yeah, and I thought, we'll probably have a month of this, as did most people, and I can do this. So I began filming a pre-recorded jazz class of about 20 minutes every single day. So every day, everyone got a little video. That lasted, what I thought was going to last a month, lasted what,
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Exactly 12 weeks.
One every day.
Yeah.
And then I also did one for the kids, the babies, as well as then I started doing disco abs, little short ab exercises.
And this is all on YouTube?
All on YouTube.
All completely free?
All completely free. Stretch.
So if you want to look up Bailog on Cameron on YouTube.
Some of them have gone now. Now we've started back classes, but there's still stretch and stuff. And then the sit fit classes, which were seated exercise for people like my nan who wanted to keep moving, but they couldn't go out. That's why for me, lockdown seems a bit of a blur because I was busy. I was busier in lockdown than I was in normal life. I was filming sometimes 3 or 4 videos a day. I was teaching workshops on Zoom for people in the UK. I was filming this and that. I was really busy. And it was amazing. The community we have a WhatsApp group, and the support and love in that group over that lockdown was incredible. Checking everyone was okay. And I'd have days where I really struggled, and I'd say, hey guys, I'm struggling a bit today. There will be a video, but it'll just be a bit later because I can't get myself going. And they were all so lovely, and people donated to those videos. People asked, hey, can we give you some money? Care homes started to use the Sit Fit videos. There were people in China and Mexico, and the videos went all over.
That's amazing.
The videos were viewed by over nearly 12,000 people.
Oh my God. I mean, something that came out of the
was only meant
pandemic.
to be for the 23 people of my classes. It was amazing. It was one of those things that I look back in 2020 and really smile. I know some people have had a horrendous year, but I actually have had a really fantastic year of connection with people and growing my business, that growing by Look on Camera to what it is today, and what we're sat in my studio, you know. It's so that kind of happened. Then they said, oh, you can go outside. So I took my classes outside.
And we're very lucky in the centre of Valencia City. We've got a riverbed, which there is no water in now. It's been turned into a beautiful park.
Beautiful park.
Yeah, and there's loads of different activities going on in the park.
And I was really dubious about going outside. I was really like, how do I teach outside? What do you mean teaching outside on grass? What? And a friend of mine, Catherine, said, I've been teaching out. She's a fitness instructor. I've been teaching outside for a while. Why don't you come down with me and I'll explain kind of the best places to go, and I'll help you with the speaker and all this kind of stuff. And that was June, so we did a few classes outside up until mid-July, and then it was the summer and it's too hot here to do anything, especially dance. And in that period I had seen an award scheme called Dance School of the Year, and you had to apply. You had to basically write down why you think you would be suitable, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to apply. I've got nothing else to do. The application form, I quite enjoy writing. It was quite nice to write down what we'd achieved over the year. And we won it. Well, we came second. Silver award for Dance School of the Year.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that. I remember when you put the video out, you know, where you had won the award and you managed to put a little snippet out when your name was. I mean, it was, and I remember the flood of messages coming in on WhatsApp, on Facebook. I mean, now you look stunned, so I'm sure
I
you
was.
were then.
They messaged you to say, hey, you've made it to the final. So they narrowed it down, and I think there was 20 finalists. And I thought, that's amazing. I've made it to the final. I'm happy. Because these schools were from all across the UK, Canada, Bahrain, all across the world, Australia. And I was like, well, woohoo. Like, that's enough for me. I don't mind. And then they had an online kind of presentation, obviously, because no one could meet. And they announced my name, and I remember just looking at you going, what? Did they just say, what?
So you were at home watching this?
Yeah, me and my partner sat on the sofa with a glass of champagne each, thinking, well, make a go of it. And the week later, I kept very quiet. The week later, I announced I was opening my own studio. It was one of those whirlwind weeks. I'd known this was coming, so I came to the studio in about end of October and decided, no, it must have been the end of September, I decided, hey, I would like this place. So off we went, putting the new floors in, painting the wall, doing all the things, and announced that. I think everyone was like, wow, there's a lot of information to take in. And yeah, we opened our own studio, The Space, because I wanted to create a place where not only By Look on Camera could be, but everyone, that whole community thing of connection and having somewhere to build a community of yourself, whether you're a yoga teacher, a Pilates teacher, or join a community that already exists. Having rented places in Valencia, I knew the failures of some schools. I knew what people I wanted as a hirer, as a teacher, to look for a place, as what I wanted to create for the community here. And here we are sat inside this wonderful little studio, which allowed me to start things like the ballet class and lyrical classes, things that I couldn't teach outside. And we now sit, from my one class in September 2019, we now sit at 15 classes a week. From everything from ballet to lyrical to adult jazz, disco fit. Whether you're 3 or 83, there's a class for you. There is no pressure. There is no, like, you can have danced your whole life, or you could never have stepped foot. You could be like you, where you danced when you were younger and hadn't put on a pair of ballet shoes in years, and then...
Yeah, we don't need to say the number.
That's what I wanted to create. I wanted to create this little bubble of just pure happiness and positivity. And
I want to add a personal note to this, Cameron, because, as you say, I came along to your classes. I started doing disco fit, and I said to you, are you going to be doing any other classes? I said, I'd like to get into ballet. And you said, yes, I'm going to do ballet. So I came along to your classes, and I think it must have been I was about 15 when I stopped doing ballet in the UK. I absolutely loved ballet, and I was going to take one of the high level exams, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't think I could pass, and I literally stopped doing ballet that day. And I came along to your classes, and it was everything I wanted. It's, it's a good sort of 40 minutes at the bar, and that's the sort of I like. It's the technique. And then you took us into the centre, and I remember we were doing some centre work, and the music was just absolutely amazing. And I just burst into tears, because for me, the emotion of the music, being in my ballet shoes, being back in the studio with an amazing teacher, which Cameron is absolutely incredible. It was just too much for me, and I just burst into tears, put my hands over my face. You thought I'd obviously twisted my ankle or something. And I just said, it's just too much. The emotion is just too much. And I feel now my eyes are welling up, because to be back in the ballet studio after over 4 decades, to do something that I love, which, a teacher who really knows his stuff, and the community he's built up, and the space we've got here, we've got the bars, we've got mirrors, it's all here. It's changed my life totally, and I so look forward to my ballet classes. So from a personal note, Cameron, I'm welling up. I am welling up. I just want to say thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
For what you have brought to my life. And I know if we spoke to all the other people who come to your classes, regardless of their age, regardless, what you have brought to Valencia and to our lives is nothing short of amazing. And you deserve the award. You deserve all the people that support you. And just a huge thank you.
Thank you.
She says as she's wiping away the tears.
Bless you. Thank you. That's what I want. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to. For me, dance has always been a way of, whether it's forgetting the bullies or escaping heartache or whatever that is. It's always been there for me, and so many adults forget. They feel like, I went to dance till I was 15 and then I stopped and I never do it again. But why?
Exactly.
Why can't a 50-year-old suddenly go, do you know what? I want to learn to jazz and I want to learn to pirouette and kick, and why not? Why? Age is but a number, as my nan would say to me. Age is you're only as old as the man you feel. Yep, she's that kind of woman.
She sounds a great lady.
She's brilliant. And and that's what I love. I don't work a day in my life. I don't, because I love my job. It's not a job, because I get to dance with kids of 18 months to ladies who have never danced before and suddenly want to shimmy and shake, and I laugh every day, and I've built a community that doesn't make me feel. I think people forget I built that community as much for me as anyone else. I don't feel lonely anymore. I have this army of people who, and every single one of you, if you're listening, and every single one of anyone who danced with me over the lockdown, if it was online, if you're from Mexico or wherever you're from, you make up by Look on Cameron. They make up. I am one person. On my own, I am just Cameron. You dancing with me and bringing people bringing their love and their laughter and their okayness with just laughing at themselves and shimmying and not giving, just don't care about, okay, I might be going right and you're going left, but no one cares. That's what makes up By Look on Cameron. That you guys are By Look on Cameron, not me.
We need you as our leader.
Well, yes. Well, otherwise you are just By Look on. And I genuinely love it, and I can't wait to continue to grow and continue for more people to shimmy and shake and just smile and forget worries for an hour. It's amazing how many people say to me, I arrived and I really didn't want to come today, but especially for the disco fit dance fitness class, I didn't really want to come and I couldn't be bothered. And they leave skipping, and I get a barrage of messages to say, oh my God, I really didn't want to come, but I can't stop smiling. I feel energized and happy, and those messages mean more than anyone will ever know. So thank you for coming and supporting and being part of this little family. And thank you to everyone else who has. And if you would like to join us, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, Bylock on Cameron. You can find our website, www.byloconcameron.com. Everything is on there. You'll be barraged with, whether it's timetables, stories of my life, which you won't need after this podcast. You'll be able to write them about me. Different things. And I try and wait till you'll enjoy today's New Year's Eve's post. You'll see lots of videos of me just being ridiculous, really. It's what a lot of them are. But yeah, I just want everyone to smile. You know, I said to you at the beginning, I think everyone needs a cheerleader in life. And I love the fact I get to do that. I get to have an hour with people who probably aren't the most confident in the world and probably don't think they just think they're pretty average. And no one's average. I think everyone's incredibly spectacular. And I love the fact I get to be the one who goes, yeah, and cheerleads people on, because why can't we all do that? I think if we all did that as humans, the world would be a much nicer and better place if we could all just cheer people on rather than pull them down.
Yeah, I think dance, music, being with other people, moving your body, as Cameron said, even if you don't want to do it, come along, try all the classes. I mean, there are so many classes. We'll make sure all the contact details are on the podcast.
Yeah.
And Cameron, can I just say thank you so much for... Well, I've enjoyed this 4-part journey with you.
The saga that is.
No, it's not a saga. It's been an absolutely amazing journey. I've loved it. And I'm so proud to know you. I'm so blessed that I've gone through this story with your highs, your lows, the heartaches, the pains, the rejections. I mean, it's an amazing career. And you're still so young. I mean, who knows what the next year, the next 5 years, the next decades.
My body doesn't feel very young. I don't know how much how much it will do. No, but thank you for allowing me to kind of...
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure.
4 podcast episodes to go back through the story. You don't get a chance very often to go back.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed going through the journey with me.
We've loved it. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, well, Happy New Year, Cameron.
Happy New Year. Happy 2021.
I know. It's crazy writing it, saying it. Right. And let's see. Fingers crossed everything's better for next year.
Filled with a bit more joy and happiness.
Oh, well, Happy New Year, Cameron.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. I hope you have enjoyed the conversation. Don't forget, if you have a story you would like to tell, please get in touch. My email address is allaboutyoupodcast@yahoo.com, and thank you for listening.